Well, 10 years ago I was in the Pentagon, actually working in the Office of Congressional Legislative Liaison. I was a major, getting ready to serve an internship on Capitol Hill. Like most people that morning, I wound up watching on TV what was unfolding in New York City. Later that morning, felt a vibration and a thud within our particular section of the Pentagon, which was about 150 yards away from where the airplane impacted. And really, quite honestly, did not register that there was some sort of connection to what we just heard or what we felt. There was a very orderly evacuation of the Pentagon. We got outside, and after a few minutes realized what had actually occurred, that the Pentagon had been hit as opposed to what we thought was an explosion outside the building initially. Stayed the remainder of the day after I sent a message via a friend to my wife and family that I would stay and try and evacuate people out of the building that were still there. So we spent the majority of the day there. Eventually got home by subway and bus without money or anything like that, since we'd evacuated the building pretty quick. But that was the start of it, and we knew we were at war. And you know, as we came back to work the next morning and things kind of unfolded, we realized the magnitude of what had occurred, the individuals we had lost, as we began to you know, see what happened over the fields in Pennsylvania, there at the Pentagon, of course, New York City. So, you know, life changed for many of us, and I think for the Army, you know, it changed the most. It changed for all the services, the military, and of course for the American people. It brought violent extremism or terrorism close to home, something we perhaps didn't even consider before. And this war on terror was suddenly part of the American fabric, and we had to all do something to sacrifice, and we all have for the last 10 years. You know, a lot of the great things, the safety of our country, the lack of terrorist attacks on the continental United States, certainly I think are a product of what the soldiers and their families have been doing, what they've sacrificed, to include our Department of Army civilians and contractors that have deployed in harm's way. And perhaps we don't give them enough credit, since things have returned to normalcy perhaps for a lot of people. So you know, I think it's important that we recognize 10 years, almost 10 years of combat, that America has been at war longer than we've ever been in combat at any one particular time. And so you know, I think that we all owe a great amount of gratitude to those young men and women that if they joined the Army 10 years ago, that's all they know. All they've known is an army of war, of continuous deployments and things like that. But at the same time, a lot of, you know, great things, positive, have taken place as a result of this. One, the Army's been able to modernize. We've been able to work more closely with our joint partners, with the other service components, with other coalitions. We've understood the importance of perhaps our place in the world as a superpower, that we've got to do things with others. We can't do things by ourselves. We've strengthened our family advocacy groups, if you will. It's amazing how a difficult situation like this brings people closer together to rely on one another. So I think a lot of the Army programs have been strengthened that help take care of families, and I think that's very important, to include taking care of our veterans as they've transitioned, to also take care of our wounded warriors. Those things 10 years ago, I don't think we really understood the magnitude of those products of war. And America sees that, and fortunately we've been able to get the resources for this last 10 years to get what we need for the military to prosecute combat operations in both Iraq and Afghanistan. You can see we gave Iraq a chance, and democracy has taken hold there. It may not be American democracy, but it's democracy nonetheless, the way the Iraqi people define it, and that's something that we've you know, sacrificed a lot for. And now we're leaving hopefully a small military presence with a partner there in the Middle East as we leave Iraq, and we know we've got a mark on the wall now for Afghanistan as well. So hopefully we've made a difference in that part of the world, that our efforts have made a difference there, perhaps for democracy, building new allies, and at the same time we've kept the homeland safe. Department of Homeland Security, all those kinds of things have happened since 9/11 that we really forget about sometimes, and Our borders are probably safer. We've probably strengthened legislation to make the country safer overall. So a lot of things have happened. I think so much has happened so fast that we sometimes don't even realize all the changes that have taken place. But it's hard to imagine that we've been in combat, continual combat, for so long. We've asked all our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marine to continue to deploy, and they've stayed with us. We continue to have great retention rates. We continue to recruit well because people understand what they're doing is important. It's making a difference, and they want to be part of the team.